YouTube. Here I am again, continuing this lovely journey with the vampire assassin Joe Pitt in book 3 of the Joe Pitt series, Half the Blood of Brooklyn. But before I get into anything, I would just like to say I went on Goodreads to look at some of the reviews and see how many stars this got. And the only review, non-spoiler review I read was by this guy who claimed that this was a filler and it was nonsense and it was poorly done and a lot of it didn't add up, stuff like that. And it was the worst in the series and he's not even sure if he's going to continue the series after the third book because how bad it was. And when I got done, I was just so confused. I was like, what were you on, sir? Because this was by far one of my favorite books in the series and I would love to meet you at the library parking lot and have a frank discussion about why it's the best book in the series. But yeah, but anyway, so in book in Half the Blood of Brooklyn, Joe Pitt is looking for his very own Van Helsing after a well-known candy shop owner is found cut up in his own store. Joe is put on the case to find out if it was a professional hit or just some vigilante out for justice. Not only though is he dealing with angry circus angry circus folk, but Evie is more in the picture in this book, which is something I really wanted, and she is fading very fast. In the very first scene of the book, she is in the hospital, and I believe they're putting a trach in. It's really bad, and she is constantly on his mind throughout this book, which I really appreciated. That's something I want to see more in the other books. He didn't seem to think about her as much. So this whole story is basically him trying to get this done so he can go back to Evie. He's walking a really fine line of keeping all the clans happy because they don't want a Van Helsing running around, and trying to save Evie, which the clock is ticking. That's how they didn't portray her as an aspirational martyr. She wasn't dying in bed in agony saying, "Oh, it's all right, I love you. I'm just here for you, Joe." She was screaming at him, telling him to get lost. She hated him because he couldn't save her. I thought that was kind of refreshing, actually. But I do feel like most of Evie's parts in the story would have furthered Joe's parts, which I hate it when authors write women that way. Like, usually male authors sometimes tend to use the female characters just to further along the story of the male protagonist, and that is so annoying, which I very much felt like she was. But there were other female characters. There's a lot of female characters in this book, and not all of them, I feel like, did do that. It did, most of them did borderline, though, I'm going to have to admit. But basically how Joe obviously wants to save her is to make Evie like himself, like give her the virus. And in the middle of the book, he finds that someone he knows can actually look at a person and tell if the virus will take or it won't take, because a lot of people who would get infected die right away. I think it's like 30% live or something. It's a very small number. But that person actually ends up stepping into the sun and dying, so he's kind of on his own and he just has to take this chance with her. And in the end, he brings her to this place where he hopes that they'll be able to help him, and someone takes it into their own hands and turns her for him, and he kind of has to watch, and he want to be the one to do that with her. So later, because it's kind of a cult atmosphere and they're not going to let her go because they're the ones that turned her, he thinks it would be better to murder her than let her stay there, which kind of confused me because I thought maybe he could just, come back later, think of a plan and save her, but literally he tries to strangle her. It was very, possessive, and I was just like, you wanted her to be a vampire. She's a vampire. She's just like you now, okay? Be happy. Like, it isn't about who did it. It's the fact that she's gonna live, and yes, the cult situation is bad, but I mean, just break her out later. You don't have to strangle her. And then, of course, they kicked him out of the cult. It was just like, that part didn't make a lot of sense to me. He kind of seemed like just a douche at that moment in the book. But, I don't know. Yeah. And you see his inner monologue, and you're like, oh, wow, that's kind of dark, and that's pretty selfish, which I had to stop and think, oh, he's trying to kill his girlfriend. Yeah, he's not, Mr. Nice Guy, is he? I kind of forgot about this. He does seem darker, where a lot of his anti-heroes, they're dark, but they're made of heart. And when it comes down to it, yeah, they'll save that puppy. This guy won't save that puppy. He'll watch that puppy die, and he'll be like, too bad. And that's why he's an anti-hero. So it's like kind of a different category of anti-hero there, which is interesting. The villain from this one is the the spoiled rich kid from the second, which I really hated, and I'm surprised he isn't dead because someone was annoyed with him yet. But he's an excellent villain. I'm so glad they did leave him because he is the one that turns Evie, and he's basically like, this is for killing my girlfriends. It's really interesting, and I kind of saw it coming towards the end, and I was just waiting for it. But when he looked at Joe and said, basically, this is my vengeance, I kind of like give him a round of applause. It was brilliant. It was very evil, and I'm hoping that he'll be in the next few books. I'll end this review by talking about Lydia. She is my favorite character in this book. She was in the first, barely in the second. She's in here again, and she saves Joe. He saves her. They make a good team. I really enjoy them. Lydia she's just a really cool feminist, the feminist hero we need in this book. So I really enjoyed her. More Lydia, please. I already mentioned the fourth because this doesn't end on a cliffhanger. Unlike the others where you can just kind of be like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I'll wait a little while. I need to know because it's a cliffhanger. Evie is like in a cult right now, and he's just trying to get the support to go back in and get her from his friends. No one will help him because he's very good at ruffling the wrong feathers. So, but anyway, I would definitely suggest it if you're interested in any of my other reviews on the series. If you like pulp noir or you like anti-heroes, definitely. It's a really good series. So thank you for joining me and have a great